So I know the Bible says that the just shall live by faith, but the question is it justified to live by faith? Now, typically when we say the word faith, the definition that usually people think of is the belief in something without evidence. Now, I personally don't believe that faith is just blind, evidenceless belief. My personal definition of faith is believing in something with evidence, although that evidence may not be entirely conclusive. So, to better explain what I mean, let me try to illustrate this by using an example here. So, I'm in college right now, and I do not have a car. And so I either have to obviously A, carpool with someone else, or B, use public transportation. So when I was at UF, obviously this wasn't an issue for me because I had friends that used to be my chauffeur all the time, and they also had a very nice RTS bus system that ran pretty consistently. So I lived off campus when I was at UF. I lived at Lexington Crossing. And at Lexington Crossing, there's two buses that come by, right? There's the 9 and 34, right? The 9 comes about every half an hour, give or take 10 minutes. And the 34 comes on every hour, again, give or take 10, 15 minutes. And so let's say, okay, today is what? Today's Thursday, right? So let's say I caught the bus on Monday, caught the bus on Tuesday, caught the bus yesterday, and caught the bus today. And let's say I caught the bus around 7:20 every day. I need to catch the bus tomorrow as well at 7:20 because I have a class at 8 o'clock and it takes about 30 minutes for the bus to get from Lexington to the campus, right? So here's the question. How can I prove, empirically, objectively, with substantial evidence and proof that the bus is actually gonna be there tomorrow at 7:20 to pick me up to go to campus? Well, the answer is I can't. You know what I mean? There's no way I can prove without a shadow of a doubt that the bus is gonna be there tomorrow at 7:20. But that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna not go to school tomorrow, right? It just means that I'm not gonna be able to know for sure when the bus is gonna be here or if the bus is actually going to come tomorrow. But like I said, faith is not based on blind belief, but it's based on some evidence, though the evidence may not be conclusive. So the two pieces of evidence that I do have is one, of course, my past experience, right? For the past couple of days, I've been catching the bus and it's been pretty consistent every day. So I can make a confident assumption that the bus is obviously going to come tomorrow at approximately the same time. The second piece of evidence that I have is that obviously the RTS puts out a bus schedule, right? And so the system says, okay, well, the bus is going to come around this stop at around this time, okay? So I can make sure that I'm actually at the bus stop at that time to catch the bus. Now again, just because I have a past experience or even official documentation doesn't necessarily prove that the bus is actually going to be there tomorrow at that time. Much less that I'm going to be even alive tomorrow to even worry about having to catch the bus tomorrow at a certain time, right? But I do have enough evidence to make a confident decision to say, I'm going to make sure that I go to sleep early so I can wake up early to get ready to catch the bus at this time, right? That is an act of faith. And I think that we don't really think about how much our life is riddled and filled with faith-based decisions. Catching the bus, booking a flight, going to work tomorrow, planning a party for the weekend, planning your 4-year academic career and what you're gonna do afterwards. Like all these things are faith-based decisions, faith-based actions. There's no way you can prove that tomorrow will come or that I'll graduate or that I'll see my graduation date or that I'll be alive tomorrow to make plans for tomorrow or whatever. But we still have faith in that, and we still act upon that faith, right? Just imagine how much differently you'd live your life if you did not have faith in tomorrow, if you didn't have a hope for tomorrow. Just how much differently would you approach your life if you did not have faith? Okay? That's how intertwined faith is in our lives. Okay? So to say that we don't live life by faith, or that it would be foolish to live life by faith, well, itself is foolish, because the reality is we all live by faith. Our life is built upon the foundation of faith, and all that we do, if you think about it, is based on faith, right? So when we say things like, oh yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, we should totally hang out next week, okay, we don't say, oh well, you see, there's no real way I can prove that I'll be alive tomorrow, or that even you'll be alive tomorrow, or that even if we are both alive tomorrow, that we'll actually be together at that particular time that we set aside to be together at that time. So I don't even want to make that commitment to say I'll hang out with you tomorrow, because there's no evidence for it. No, we don't say stuff like that, right? When you say, let's hang out tomorrow, you just say, sure, what time, what place, what are we going to do, and so on. Faith is just something that is natural to us. But, of course, there's some things that we see as somehow unnatural, like, for example, faith in God. But I think that having a faith in God is no different than having a faith in a tomorrow. But anyway, all that to, I guess, say this. I feel like sometimes we ask ourselves the wrong question. Instead of asking ourselves, should I live by faith, or is it justified to live by faith, or is it foolish or wise to live by faith, or whatever the question may be, at the end of the day, we all live by faith. It's just something that comes natural to us, and I think it'll be very difficult to try to live our lives without faith. And so the real question is, what do you put your faith in? Is it yourself, other people, a God, the universe, chance? Like, what should you put your faith in? And as always, think on these things.